Hello students, welcome back in the history class of 6th standard. So students, let's continue with the lesson number 9, the Mauryan Empire. Till now, we have discussed about the three rulers of the Mauryan Empire, Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusar and Ashok. Now students, I would like to take feedback of the previous topic. So the first question is, who was known as the slayer of enemies? Second, define the term Digvijay. Third, who was the most famous ruler of the Mauryan dynasty? And the fourth question is, define the term Dhamvijay. Students, I hope you are able to answer all these questions. Now, in today's class, we are going to read about Dham introduced by Ashok. Students, see the important term related to the today's topic. Grove, a group of trees. Now students, let's start reading. Ashok's Dham, meaning Dham is a Prakrit word for the Sanskrit term Dharma. It means religious duty. Students, the word Dham is derived from a Sanskrit word Dharma, which means religious duty. It emphasizes on non-violence, charity, mercy, truth, tolerance, and purity. It did not involve worship of a god or performance of any sacrifice. Ashok felt that, like a father, the king also has a duty to instruct his subjects. His idea of Dham was based on human values and a code of conduct inspired by the noble teachings of the Buddha. Emphasize means stress. So, students, charity means financial aid. Mercy means kindness. Tolerance means patience. Purity means goodness. Instruct means guide. And inspired means motivated. So, students, Dham gave stress on non-violence means ahimsa, charity, mercy, truth, tolerance, and purity. Dham did not include worship of any god or performance of any sacrifice or ritual. Ashok considered himself as the father of his people.
His ideas were based on human values and a code of conduct, which were motivated by the teachings of Mahatma Buddha.
Now we are going to read objectives of Ashok's Dham. So, there were several problems in his empire that Ashok wanted to solve by introducing Dham. So, students, try to understand these objectives with the help of pictures. The first point is, people in the empire followed different religions. This sometimes led to conflicts. Conflicts means disputes or clashes.
So, students, there were disputes among the people on the issue of religion.
Second point was, a large number of animals were sacrificed in the Vedic rituals. Sacrificed means killed. Third is, slaves and servants were ill-treated by their masters.
The lower section of society was consisted of slaves and servants
Who were exploited by their masters or the upper classes. Next point is, there were quarrels in families and amongst neighbors. So the quarrels means arguments.
So, there were disputes among the people on the basis of religion.
So these were the objectives of Ashok's Dham. Now come to the main principles of Dham. The main principles of Dham were as follows. First point is, everyone should follow ahimsa, that is, non-violence and non-injury to all living beings. No animal should be slaughtered for sacrifice. The word slaughtered means killed.
So, the main principle of Ashok's Dham was ahimsa or non-violence.
Which means not to harm any living creature. Because all living creatures have souls and they feel pain. Now, the second point is, people should be gentle with slaves and servants. They should be truthful, charitable, and kind to all. So, students, gentle means kind. Next main principle of Dham was to be kind with slaves and servants. They should not be discriminated on the basis of caste. Third main feature was people should respect their elders. Fourth point, people should treat all creatures with compassion. Compassion means sympathy. So, people should behave sympathetically with all living creatures. People should give gifts to Brahmins and monks. Brahmins, you already know, the religious person of Hinduism, and monks are the religious persons related to the Jainism and Buddhism. Next principle was each one should respect one another's religion. It is wrong to praise one's own religion or criticize another's. One should try to understand the main ideas of another's religion and respect it. So, people should give respect to all the other religions. One should not consider any other religion inferior. People should live in peace and harmony. Harmony means unity. So, people should live unitedly. Last principle of Dham was people perform various rituals and ceremonies on occasions of childbirth or wedding. However, all these ceremonies are worthless. They should follow Dham themselves and spread it in all directions. This would be the best ceremony and also very fruitful. Worthless means valueless. So, students, during that time, people used to perform so many ceremonies on the birth of a child or weddings. According to Ashok's Dham, these ceremonies are valueless. So, Ashok said people should follow Dham and spread it in all directions. Now, students, let's read means to spread Dham. Ashok adopted the following means to spread the message of Dham. Under this, we will read about different methods which were adopted by Ashok to spread the message of Dham. So, the first point is Ashok appointed officials known as the Dham Mahamatas. They went from place to place teaching people about Dham. So, students, Ashok appointed many officials who were known as the Dham Mahamatas. These officials went from place to place to spread the message of Ashok's Dham amongst the people. Second point, he got his message inscribed on rocks and pillars. Most of these were in the Brahmi script. Their language was Prakrit. He also instructed his officials to read his messages to those who could not read it themselves. So, inscribed means to write. So, Ashok wrote his messages on rocks and pillars throughout the country as well as outside the country. He wrote his messages in the Prakrit language, which was the common language of the people, and the script used was the Brahmi. He also appointed officials to read his instructions loudly in the public for those who could not read. Now, the third point is Ashok set a personal example by strictly following the principles of Dham. Through this, he inspired others to do the same. So, students, Ashok himself strictly followed the principles of Dham. So, the people were inspired by his personality also. Now, the next point is he sent messengers to spread ideas about Dham and Buddhism to different countries such as Greece, Egypt, Syria, and Sri Lanka. He sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghmitra to Sri Lanka to spread the message of Buddhism. So, students, Ashok spread his Dham outside India, like Egypt, Syria, and Sri Lanka. He sent his son Mahendra and his daughter Sanghmitra to Sri Lanka to spread the message of Buddhism. Next point was he built roads and rest houses and dug wells. He planted trees on both sides of the road. He ordered planting of banyan trees and the establishment of mango groves. Dug wells means a well made by excavating with hand tools. Grove means a group of trees. So students, Ashok constructed roads and rest houses. He planted trees on both sides of the road. He also built hospitals both for people and animals. Now, students, let's read further. Slaves and servants were ill treated at that time. They could not even join the Sangh without the permission of their masters. Undoubtedly, the orders of the emperor would have improved their condition. In his Dham, Ashok emphasized that people should be truthful, charitable, and kind to all. They should be gentle with slaves and servants. They should treat all creatures with compassion. So, compassion means sympathy. So, students, during that time, the people of upper classes behaved very badly with the slaves and servants. They were not allowed to go to the religious places. But with the introduction of Ashok's Dham, their conditions would have improved. Ashok's Dham stressed on the truth, charity, and kindness. People should be kind to all and not to harm any living creature. So students, our today's topic is completed now. I hope this is clear to you. Now students, your homework is do question number 3 and 5 of exercise 6 and question number 3 of exercise 7 on fair copy.